Thank you very much, and congratulations, Dr. Lalonde. The second inductee today for the 2010 ceremonies will be Greg Anderson from GOI. Now, for a presenter, Céline Dion needs no introduction because she's not here. But on the other hand, Percy Sky.
You've probably all had a chance to read Greg's background in the brochure. I'm just going to give you a little backgrounder of what happened about 25 years ago with Greg that I think will put this together in an interesting light. Greg was a senior director with us when Genentech came into Canada for the first time, looking for a general manager to start their business, put TPA on the market, a major new drug. And Greg was recruited to that position. He was with them successfully for a couple of years, and then showed an interest in wanting to come back to not only J&J, but to Ortho specifically. And I was the president at that time, and had no openings. But he was a valuable individual with the additional experience as a general manager, so I've got to find a way to keep him. So I went to each of my board members separately and I said, you must have certain projects that you would like to delegate, but you just don't have the staff right now to hand it over to them. What if I was able to give you somebody who could carry a project out at the standard that you want? Not one of them bit without saying, who do you have in mind? I said, Greg Anderson. And my hope had been that each would give me maybe, one or two projects. I had a few of my own, and I'd package maybe, 15 things, and this would allow me to bring Greg back into the corporation, and then down the road, something would open up. Well, in every instance, I said, well, if it's going to be Greg, I've got 3, 4, 5, add this thing up, there are 30 different needs out there. Called the board together and I said, okay, we're going to bring Greg back in on one condition. He gets to do my projects first. Well, Greg not only did those projects, it took 3 years before a formal new position opened up for Greg, but there wasn't one of the things that he didn't accomplish at the professional level that we expected from him. Greg has had, with the J&J Corporation, between Ortho McNeil, Janssen, and the mergers, 16 different jobs. Every one of them done well. He survived 6 different company presidents during that time. And I have one more job for Greg, and that is, Greg, come forward now and receive the recognition from the Chronicles Canadian Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank the Chronicles companies for establishing something like this that allows us to talk about successes for all sorts of people in pharmaceutical marketing. I'd like to thank the National Pharmaceutical Conference for providing a forum that this can be shared at. I think mostly I want to thank my nominees. It was quite a surprise to have a group of people come forward and propose this for me. And I started in accounting, spent most of my career in the marketing section of Johnson & Johnson, and actually finished up in the HR area. But I think one of the things that stands out for me was I was lucky enough, fortunate enough to be part of the industry, the pharmaceutical marketing group, when the industry totally changed. I started when the only thing you had to worry about for provincial governments was submitting a form when you happened to launch a new product to let them know it was on the market. And oh, by the way, after we finish doing the price increases, send in a form to make sure they know what the new prices are. There wasn't even a section in a marketing plan headed up provincial governments. That then evolved to the point, well, we better put a paragraph in the market plans about provincial governments. And then it evolved to the point where it became apparent that this group was totally changing the way pharmaceuticals were going to be marketed. They were going to determine, in large part, who got the drugs, how much they'd get, who would be eligible, and what price they'd be paid at. And so when you think about it, it was an age when we went from so little interaction to the recognition that provincial governments were an absolutely critical, important customer, and you had to treat them like any other customer and fill their needs properly. So I do take some pride in the fact that we got a chance to figure out how you introduce this new kind of marketing into pharmaceuticals. And I was delighted when I found that Teresa Firestone was on the agenda for being recognized today, because what a wonderful person that was to sit across the table for as we figured out how governments and pharmacy were going to work together. So for those periods of time, I found it wonderful. I'm delighted to be recognized here today. I'm probably more surprised at all this than any of you out there. But thank you very much, and Percy, again, thank you for making this possible by the introduction. Thank you very much.